But dark browns are good for me, and wine colors like this are really good for me. I have to be careful because the way I pull my arm over like this, that I get the same kind of coverage on both eyes, because it kind of changes how you use the brush when you're reaching over like this and doing like that versus over here, especially since I'm right-handed. So, all right, so we've got that all laid down. Whoops. And then we're going to need to blend in a second, but I'm going to use this short shader, which some people call a smudger brush. I'm not sharing my palette with anyone, so I am going to lick versus put chemicals on. I mean, some people be like, Beth, are you serious? Now, I did already have a crayon liner from, what was it? It was a brand from, I think, one of my old, what's it called? One of my old Epsy boxes, or a Birchbox. I don't remember which, to be honest. And I never used it, and this morning it was in the drawer, so I thought, just use it. So I did. And that may help this to hold on, because crayons have a little wax in them, and that may help the longevity of the powder when it gets on there. It may hold on a little better. And I also did stamp it into the lashes, so it's just going to stamp it into the lashes. And all it does is just give a little bit darker look right around the eyes. Now, some people would say it shuts the eye down rather than open it up, and you don't want that. I might want that. Apparently I want that. I just kept getting that all over me. Now, let's just say my nose is being very irritated. I wonder if I'm allergic to it. Yeah, like very irritated, so sorry I keep rubbing it. Or it could be that my nose is saying, get us more coffee. But anyway, so now I'm going to use a Morphe Y10. Now, this is really to be used for contour, like focus, but when you've got a little palette like this that does have a pink or a peach color in it that you could use for blush, you could use one of those and just lightly touch it in there. Now, this is very shimmery, so we don't know what this is going to look like. Here goes. So I'm going to make sure, first of all, that I'm just right on that line. And then I'm going to start rosing it out a little bit and smiling so that it comes right up to this cheek. You know? But keeping it, I want to keep it above this natural place for me. This is clearly, you see where it sinks in. I don't have much sink in because my little face is fatty, but that's okay because it's filling in my wrinkles. So it is a really good blush color, and that is an eyeshadow color. So I barely even touched it in there, and again, because it's such a small head on the brush, it could fit in the palette. Or if you have a smaller blush brush, again, I'm making sure I got the right direction. Instead of doing like that, I'm doing almost vertical, a diagonal kind of vertical, and then I'm smiling and rounding it out. Yep. So this is turning out to be a really good color for me. I'm going to put some on the bridge of my nose and some right on the little tip underneath my nose, blowing out so it doesn't go up in your nose. And see how it kind of looks like a little sun? Got a little sun. And a little over my nose. That's a little too much over my nose. Let me blend some of that off. And then also a little bit right under your chin and on the bulbous part of your chin. Now, if you wanted this to be a face palette on a trip, you could go back into this color and let that be your bronzer. I wouldn't use a lot of it. See how that was very pigmented? And I would keep it way to the back and under. Way to the back and under. Don't go over the pink. And all that does is just sink it in a little more. Same thing under here. And I just put it on the fatty. Why? Because when you do that, it kind of helps recede. Remember, something bright brings things forward. Something dark causes it to recede. And whenever you make that line to kind of cut in where you want it to look like your jaw stops, make sure you blend it down so you don't just have a line there. Boy, that bruise is really obvious, isn't it, from my little procedure? I find out in 10 days whether or not it's cancer, y'all. If y'all pray, I really would appreciate some prayers about that. She said the pathologist said that he's thinking it's more along the lines of benign. But they never know. That's why they have to send it off for, I think it was genomic is what they call it. Testing. Genes, I guess. Genomic genes. That's what that sounds like to me. I don't know. And I'm just kind of putting some color on the edges of the face so that it kind of definitely kind of brings it to where the light's in the center. Okay. So what do I have to say about this palette? I actually really like this. Like a lot. And it doesn't hurt any. That's a cute little puppy dog. Okay. Alright, and it's